So press 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hi guys, and welcome to Unity tutorial of a weapon switch. So I'm going to start by importing the following weapon or adding the following weapon onto the stage. Okay, you can always get this weapon from your asset store here, or from if you already have a package manager inside your own asset, you should be able to get it right there. Okay, it's called CFS Sci-Fi Dawnlight. So that's the one I'm using. And the background, you can just select any asset that you want. Okay, I already have my asset there. So what I'm going to look for now, I'm going to look for the camera. I think there's a camera in here. There we go. There's a camera there. So I'm going to grab hold of my scientific gun. Go to the prefab. I should be able to see something there. Yeah. So let's grab hold of this red one, and I'm just going to dump that right inside the camera there. Okay. And I'll just change the orientation of this very gun. I'm going to make that about 383. And let's see. Let's drag it in a little bit. I'm going to run it now. I just want to see how that's going to look. Okay, look at that. That's not too bad. So I'm going to drag this very gun up. Alright, I need more of those guns. But before I go any further, so right inside the main camera itself, I'm going to create an empty game object. Let's drag this up and see first. Okay, so let's create that a little bit and run just one more time. I just want to see how it's going to look like before I continue. All right there. Let's see. Right, not too bad. Now I have 5 guns there. I already have one out there. So, but before I add the other 4 guns, I'm going to come in right here. You see the main camera. Right click on it. I'm going to select empty game object. It's very empty game object. I'll just give it a name. I'll call it weapon or weapons, something like that. Yeah. And you see this other gun is now going to be a child of the weapon itself. Okay, it's inside there, right there. Now, the next gun, I'm going to add the next gun, but before that, make sure you know the coordinates. See this other one? I'm just going to copy it. And I'll paste it right somewhere here. Okay, that is the X, and this is the Y axis. Paste that in there. And this is the Z axis. Just copy that and dump it here as well. There. Okay, I'm now going to add the other guns. So let the next one to it be maybe blue. Just dump it right there. I have the blue one there. Then the red, light red. I already have, okay, those 3. Now grab all of these and this. So I have all my guns. They are all somewhere there. But I'm going to select them all now. The coordinate that I've copied up, I will now use the coordinate for all the guns. Paste. And the next one, just grab all of that, dump it here. And followed by the next one for the Z axis. Now all the guns are in position, but they don't all have the same size. So I'm going to change the size to 3 by 3 by 3. There we go. So as you can see, this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I run it, let's see, we're still seeing the very first one, which is good. Now, we now need to put together some lines of codes. See, on this my empty game object called weapons, I'm going to right click, or let's come right in here, come into your asset here, right click on the asset and let's select create and just select C#. Give that a name. I'm going to call it, let's say, weapon codes. There we go. And just press enter to open it up. Click on this open. Okay, my coding environment is ready. The very first thing I'm going to do now is, see here, maybe get rid of this for now. I'm just going to enter, let's say, public int, and I'll call that switched weapon. There. And let's get it initialized with the value of 0. And right underneath here, I'm going to create a function. I'll call it void. Let's just call that weapon selected. Okay, weapon selected. And this weapon selected, let's enter selected in there. Okay, weapon selected. This very weapon selected. I'm going to also declare a variable there I that is then initialized with the value of 0. And for each, let's say, transform, for each transform weapon in, so let's enter weapon there instead of T. Just going to say weapon in transform. I now want the weapon to, let's say, weapon dots game object dots set active. So in here, what I'll then do, instead of false, I'm going to say I that is equals the swish weapon, this very one here. Space that in there. Okay, that's brilliant. So what I'll do again is, you see this very weapon selected, I'm going to call that right inside my void stats. Hey, I'm going to create 2 more functions before I then call all of those inside the update. So first of all, let's start by saying void next selected or switched. Let's say next switch. That can even be just select next weapon. Add a space in there, select next weapon. Okay, select next weapon, that is going to be equals. Let's go ahead and say switched weapon, that will be equals switched weapon, that's the plus 1. And let's call transform dot child count. Say transform dot child count. Okay, that will be counting the next one. And right underneath here, now I'm now going to call the weapon selected there. So that takes care of select next weapon. So I'm going to create another function, and this time around that's going to be the previous weapon. So I might as well just copy this, paste, and right underneath here, that I'll just change this to previous weapon. Select previous weapon. In the case of select previous weapon, I have switch weapon equals switch. Instead of plus, I'm going to say -1. That's getting rid of one of the weapon. Plus transform dot child. Okay, and that takes care of the previous one. So we can go to the next one and we can go back to the previous one, either using the mouse wheel or using the number keys. Right, so these two are now taken care of. Okay, right inside my update here, I'm going to create an integer variable there. I will just call that. Let's just go for previous weapon. Okay, maybe previous selected weapon, something like that. Previous selected weapon. Okay, so previous selected weapon is going to be equals. Let's initialize it with switch weapon. Just done that right there. Enter semicolon. Now I'm now going to use an if statement. Okay, to see if the user use the mouse wheel, then we'll be able to either increase the value from 0. So let's start by saying if input dot get access. I want dot get access, and if that is mouse scroll, which means you can always use your scroll wheel, and that if that is greater than 0, what do you want the system to do? We want you to go to select next. So let's come in here, press enter, and I'm just going to grab hold of next weapon, this very one. Select next weapon. Paste that right in here. There. However, if this is less than, then I want it to be previous. So I'm going to copy this and change this to less than. So if it's less than 0, we now want you to select the previous. That is it right there. Grab hold of the previous and just replace this there. Okay guys, you see these lines of code that I've just completed, that would be for the mouse wheel. Okay, if it's increased and if it's decreased, so we should be able to see the different guns that we have in place. So have a look at that. I'm going to save it now. Then let me go to my editor right there, and I'm right here. You see where I have the empty game object called weapons. I'm going to drag this, just dump it right there. Okay, that's it there. So let's run it. So I should be able to swap the weapon using you see that, using the mouse wheel. That is correct. Okay, you can see the various weapons there. I'm able to switch between the weapons. Okay, just to prove to you that the mouse wheel is working. So now, supposing the end user want to use the keyboard. So right here, underneath here, I'm going to use another if statement. So let's come down here and just say if the input is key, input that get key down, if input dot get key on the key down. Okay, let's just pick that and just enter down to it. If it's key down, then we need to have a good look at the key code itself. Key code dot get alpha 1. Alpha 1 will be for the keyboard 1. So let's come in here. I'm going to accept that for now and just say dot alpha 1. Okay, and come right here, press enter. Now, in that case, my switched weapon right here should be equal 0. Come right down, just paste that in here. That is 0. Else, or else, we can say else if. So I want to grab hold of this. Else if else if key down, if that is alpha 2 and let's say transform dot count child the child count, if that is greater than or equals to 2, then switch weapon will be 1. Okay, we have 1. And if it's 3, let's grab all of this, is that in there. If it's 3, then this will be 2. Okay, so remember 0, when it's 0, that will be 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this will be, if it's 3 here and this is 3, no, this is, so this out to be 3, because I have 2 here already. This will be 3 and this is 4, this is 4, this is 4. Then this will be 3. Yeah. And remember, I have up to 5, so I can say if this is 5 and this is 4. There we go. All right. However, if the previous selected weapon equals not equals switch, then it should go back right here. It should go back right there. So let's come down here and just say if previous selected weapon is not equals. I'm going to accept that and just change that to not equals. If it's not equals select weapon, okay, if it's not equals select weapon, then call select weapon, and that is it. So that's not equals that, just call this, that should be uppercase. Yes. Okay, I think I'm done. Okay, let's take a good look at the lines of code. Take it from the top. This is for my mouse wheel. However, if the keyboard is used, here are the settings for the keyboard. You take it down. Okay, but if it's not used, we do this. So that we just switch. And then this recognizes the previous selection. Yeah, the next selection and the previous selection. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to save that. And let's go back to my program here. Run it and let's try out the keyboard. We should be able to, there we go, swap the weapon using the keyboard. You see that, guys? And that is how you create your own weapon switching using C#. Okay, there, run it one more time. You see that, guys? But you might be wondering, maybe the color that is changing. Supposing I move one of these, see the I'm just going to move this aside just to prove to you guys. I'll just change the coordinate of that. If I run it now, take a look at what's going to happen. You can see the very first gun there. So if I press 2, there we go. 3, go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so all the guns are separate. It's just that put actually line all of them up on the same coordinate. You see that, guys? So let's run it one more time. So press 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You see that? So with that, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this beautiful tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it. So what I'm going to do now is just press undo to get all the guns back to their coordinates there. So with that, guys, I'll call it the end of this tutorial, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.